Hey everyone, Travis from Engelhart Certified Pre-Owned coming to you tonight, talking about motorcycles and everything awesome. So a lot of the times customers will come in here and they'll say, hey, what's your favorite bike? Or if you could have any bike, what would it be? And that's a really hard question to answer. I think a lot of that comes from being in the industry and being surrounded by so many awesome machines all the time. There's a little bit of complacency that happens. And I've had the opportunity to ride a lot of these machines. And so that's a lot harder question than it may sound. You know, before in the past, it would have been easier. I'd been like, oh, I would have this bike, no problem. But now that I'm around them so much and being able to ride them, that becomes a much harder question to answer. So when somebody says to me today, what would be the bike that you would want? It would have to be something absolutely special, something almost one of a kind, kind of an unobtainium kind of bike. And that bike today is the 2008 Ducati 1098R. Now, granted, Ducati still makes the 1098 bikes. You can buy a $12.99 Panigale R new today, but the unobtainium or the real uniqueness of this motorcycle is that they only made 450 of them, and only 300 and some of those actually came to the United States. This bike is, by definition, straight up race bike. It was designed and taken straight off of the MotoGP bikes, and a lot of the technology that's involved in this motorcycle came from the racing lineage of Ducati. So that being said, it really was a really limited edition thing. This bike brand new was $40,000. I mean, even today's standards, that's a lot of money, but we're now 2008, we're 9 years ago, for a production motorcycle that was $40,000 new. So what makes it so special? Well, it is a 1098R, but at the end of the day, with the bore and stroke and the way the motor was designed, it actually is an 1199 motor that's in there. There's some titanium connecting rods and internal bits in there, which lighten the motor up and the rotating mass of the motor. The cases are sand-casted magnesium cases, which also makes it much lighter. Over its predecessor, the 999, it was quite a bit lighter. You also get all the carbon fiber goodies with the motorcycle that you typically don't get on most of the bikes. So you got the carbon fiber front fenders, you have carbon fiber infill panels, carbon fiber by the instrument gauges. The whole subframe is carbon fiber, and the belly pan of the bike was all carbon fiber stock from the factory. So pretty special stuff going on there. This bike was also equipped with its race kit. The race kit included the data logger, which was something new. It was a first on a production bike where you could actually plug in a laptop and download data from the motorcycle, and that comes with the Turganami full exhaust system. It also was one of the first bikes that comes stock with a slipper clutch. It's becoming more common ground now in today's motorcycles to have slipper clutches, but this was the first. So it was also the first production motorcycle to ever have traction control. This is Ducati's traction control. It's got 8 different levels. Again, something that's pretty common in today's bike, but it was the first bike to have production motorcycle where you could get that technology. Quite a work of art. Along with that, you get the Olin suspension. It's a fully adjustable Olin suspension front and rear. This was the first production motorcycle to come stock from the factory with an Olin's TTX rear shock. TTX in Olin's stands for twin tube technology. So it makes it just more effective in its process. As you can see on the stamped triple tree as well, it is number 347 out of 450 made. So moving along a little bit with the little bits of goodies here, you do got the Olin, again, the TTX shock in the rear, and so we're talking 180 horsepower out of a stock production motorcycle. That also was a first in 2008. So pretty beautiful machine all the way around. It is quite unique. A lot of firsts for the industry, paving ways for which is now considered common ground. But again, you have so many things that you just would not get in a stock motorcycle. You know, from the carbon fiber to the suspension to the traction control to the data logging, the spec-built motor, even down to the ultralight magnesium rims. The whole bike, by definition, is a race bike. The R stands for race. Many publications talked about that specifically when this bike was produced. So, the one last thing, of course, was the Brembo monobloc calipers. M4 monobloc calipers was a machine on a one-piece billet. So you have just as much go power as you have stopping power. And I think that just about wraps up my lust infatuation with this motorcycle. We've had it here for a little bit of time, and it's actually been a pleasure to be able to come in and see something like this pure racing pedigree, and to have it here on our floor has been an honor. And actually the day that it sells, it will be a sad day for me, unless of course it ends up in my living room. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, come on down, check us out. We got plenty of awesome motorcycles down here at Engelhart Center. It's a full campus of bikes, everything you can imagine. We have it all for you. So check us out. Thanks.